Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock. 2 Wants to Know starts right now.
You know by looking at a piece of fruit whether it is good or whether it is bad. But when I look at the chips, oh, I see an expiration date. It tells me that later this month they're not going to taste so good. But what about your fire extinguisher? Manufacturers say most extinguishers work for a span of about 5 to 15 years. So goodness gracious, look at this one right here. It says 2007. We asked folks in the newsroom to bring in their fire extinguishers. We've got even one from 1994. That is 20 years old, people. You can find the date either on the bottom of the extinguisher, right here. This one says 02, or you can find it on the label like we just showed you here. The question is, will they still work all those years later? Greensboro Fire helped us put these old extinguishers to the tooth test.
5 extinguishers, dust, and these dates show their age. All are between 3 and 20 years old. Each will take aim at this simulated cooking fire.
Okay, pulling out the pin.
First one works just like it should. Greensboro firefighter April Robertson lights the pan again, and
Good job. That one works too.
extinguishers 3 and 4
It works.
and 5 work as well.
Those 5 work just fine, but your next 5 may not, and you just never know. You don't want to take that chance at the last minute, you know, a simple $20, $30, and you know it's going to work, as opposed to, okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, now you've burned your kitchen up.
And what about barely used extinguishers? These all still felt full. 2 Wants to Know asked April to light the pan one more time.
Oh, I would have to get, wow, okay, can't get close enough to the fire to
No.
fight the fire.
And there's no charge in there.
Okay, yeah, there's no charge in there. When it says empty, it really does mean empty.
All the agent in there is pressurized. So once you release some of that pressure, even though there may be something inside of the bottle, there may not be enough pressure to push it out.
If this happens, you wouldn't want to chance a used extinguisher. And with how fast these flames build, you wouldn't want to waste time either.
Out here, it was controlled, and we have nothing else to burn. In your house, that fire is growing so rapid that it's going up into either your microwave that's above the stove, it's going in your cabinets, into your walls, and it's growing so rapidly that you don't want to waste time looking for your extinguisher.
Well, speaking of wasting time, I want you to check out where my fire extinguisher was at home. Oh, right, you can't see it in this cabinet. Let me add some arrows so you can make out where it is. Okay, I'm willing to show a few of my skeletons so you can learn from my mistakes. My extinguisher was not where it should be, which is in easy reach. Yours needs to be easy to get to and not in the cabinet next to the stove. Another key point, really take a look at your extinguisher and see how you should use it. 2 Wants to Know did a step-by-step of how to use a fire extinguisher just a few months ago. You point, you spray, but there are some tricks that will help you put the fire out faster, so check out the video. And one last thing, some of these extinguishers are single-use, some are rechargeable. You should recharge your extinguisher every single year, and it costs you about 18 bucks. Firefighters are there if the extinguisher doesn't work or if it's just too much for us to control. Volunteer firefighters, though, don't get paid. And you might remember the story that 2 Wants to Know did back in January. Local volunteer firefighters were really upset about a requirement in the Affordable Care Act. It required health insurance for the volunteers. We talked to the Summerfield Fire Department. Their fire chief said they would have to cut volunteers to avoid paying those charges. That would have meant a slower response time, put the station's insurance accreditation at risk, and impacted the county budget. Today, we have an update on that. The House and Senate just passed a bill clarifying the law. Now, volunteer fire departments do not have to provide health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. The bill still has to be signed into law, but that is expected to happen in the next month. We know that they put their lives on the line for us. Firefighters are called out every single day, but we don't always hear about the fire unless maybe someone gets hurt or maybe it shuts down a roadway. Well, both of those happened on Elm Street in January. Smoke billowed into the air. We all could see it. Crews called 100 firefighters to the scene, and then the roof collapsed. Firefighter Matthew Clapp was one of 4 firefighters injured in that collapse. He is hoping to be back on light duty sometime this next month. I got to sit down with him and talk to him, and he showed me the reminder of the fire that he carries around with him in his pocket most every day. His story in 10 minutes. While this weekend should be all about Mom, it is all about the NFL draft, too. The first round was last night, and there are all kinds of stories to tell. Of course, there are. The #1 pick, of course, came from South Carolina, Clowney. But the second pick, Greg Robinson, is also pretty important. Historically, the first pick has not necessarily performed any better than #2. In fact, take a look at these numbers. According to the NFL, #1 picks have been selected to 175 Pro Bowls versus #2s. They have played in 194. So does the position make a monetary difference? Not really that much between 1 and 2. Forbes estimates that Clowney will make $22 million, while they say Robinson will make around $21 million. But it definitely makes a difference the further down your pick. Johnny Manziel ended up being picked 22nd by the Cleveland Browns. It's estimated he'll make a little more than $8 million. That is $12 million less than quarterback Blake Bortles, who was drafted 3rd. Forbes estimates that Bortles from UCF will make just more than $20 million. Well, by the way, did you hear the story of how the Browns GM finally decided on Manziel? He said a homeless person told him to make the pick. He said it showed Manziel was who the people wanted. So go figure. Guess there's not that much science to it, is there? You use your phone for everything. Calls, sure. Paying bills, okay. Listening to music, those all seem pretty normal. But more and more products have the availability of being controlled by your phone. We're talking home lights and locks, appliances. Consumer Reports have been testing some of these connected home products and can tell you which to pick and which to skip.
From his iPad, Daniel Hung can control his lights, TV, stereo, even his window shades.
It's so convenient, and you don't have to think back and say, oh, did I shut this light off?
Consumer Reports has been testing Wi-Fi connected devices, including lighting systems, electronic door locks, smart thermostats, generators, and smart ranges and wall ovens.
What really gets your attention with these products is their cool features. So we're testing those features. We also want to make sure it works at its basic function.
That was a problem with the electronic door locks. Yes, you can use your smartphone or tablet to lock and unlock doors remotely, but none stood up to all of Consumer Reports' break-in tests. Far stronger, this old-school Medico Maxim deadbolt lock. As for Nest's learning thermostat, it has plenty of innovative features, but it costs $250, and it's harder to set up than others. With this $170 Venstar Color Touch Series, setup is a breeze. As for lighting systems, the $200 U system from Philips lets you dim and even change the color of its bulbs. For far less, the $50 Connected by TCP is easier to set up. It doesn't change colors, but you can dim the bulbs from your cell phone. So, should you be considering a connected home? An elaborate system like Daniel's costs $25,000.
It's fun to watch, but I'm not sure that it's really actually that one-touch control is really there yet for the average person.
Well, Consumer Reports says sometimes the extra money is worth it. For example, with some Generac generators, you can add the mobile link. It tells you if your generator stops working and automatically calls for repairs. How nice. You can get more information on connected homes on our website, WFMYnews2.com. So maybe you've been procrastinating, and this Ways to Save will be for you. Moneyman Matt Granite found some gifts that you can give Mom that are free. If you go to Starbucks, you can get her a chai tea. They are buy one, get one free all day on Mother's Day. If you're sort of crafty, head to snapfish.com. They have all sorts of free printable goodies, everything from gift cards to breakfast in bed menus or even a coupon book that you can make up. There's always an option of taking Mom out to eat. Probably the most interesting option that Matt found is Hooters. Mom's entree is free with a drink purchase, but he has a whole list of other restaurants offering Mom free food as well. You can find links to those restaurants and all the other freebie deals that are found on our website. Just look in the 2 Wants to Know section of WFMYnews2.com. All right, so we're going to play a little game. What about giving Mom a new car? da, 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 da. All right, the right mom-mobile is important. Remember the Swagger Wagon commercials? Of course. You want it to be safe, it should be good on gas, and it definitely needs to have room for all the kids and their friends, their car seats and all that stuff. But you might want it to be cool, too. If the typical minivan really isn't for mom, you're in luck. Consumer Reports did the dirty work and found the best mom-friendly cars. We share their top picks in 60 seconds. Consumer Reports' top mom-friendly cars are the Toyota Corolla, Honda Accord, and Subaru Forester. And if you want to go obvious minivan, they chose the Honda Odyssey.
No rain out here in the weather garden right now, but a lot of puddles on the ground. A pretty heavy downpour just moved through, at least in northeastern Greensboro. But we've got a series of waves of showers moving through, producing some gusty winds in addition to periods of heavy rain. Wave 1 moving through Caswell County. Wave 2 moving through eastern Guilford County towards Alamance. Wave 3 moving through Davidson. Wave 4 developing just north of Charlotte. All of these moving to the northeast at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So expect the showers to be in and out of the triad as we head through the next few hours. Heaviest rain now moving through eastern Guilford County right towards Burlington. Burlington, you're about ready to get wet. Also Rock Creek, about ready to start to see the rain picking up. Pretty moderate, in fact. And then also Davidson County, Lexington seeing some rain just south of you, and just north and east of Denton, you're finding the heaviest of the rain now moving east of your area, but more rain on the way moving out of Charlotte. We'll see that chance of scattered showers continuing. High-resolution futurecast showing most of the rain tapering off through around 9 o'clock, maybe an isolated shower through midnight. After that point, just a partly clearing sky as we go into early tomorrow morning. Partly sunny to start off Saturday, but already seeing some showers likely developing over the mountains as we head through mid to late morning, and then seeing those pop up across the triad through tomorrow afternoon. It has cooled the area with that rain moving through. 75 in Greensboro right now. Burlington, you're at 85 degrees right now, but once those showers move through, your temperatures will drop into the mid-70s as well. Eventually, low temperatures drop down to 63 degrees tonight. Those shower or storm possible early, and then we'll see 82 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Partly sunny conditions. Scattered afternoon showers and storms look pretty likely. And then 84 degrees on Mother's Day. We'll see a small chance of an isolated shower, and then we will keep that chance of mainly afternoon showers and storms through the first half of next week, with mid-70s through Thursday and Friday.
It looks like the typical summer weather pattern with the thunderstorms. We like the warm weather. No more frost. All right, let's get to the top stories of the day. I know, right? Julie Luck, Frank Mickens keeping us up to date on all the headlines, and we're talking NBA. That's what we're starting with.
Yeah, you're right. There's a new general manager for the Los Angeles Clippers, at least for now. This afternoon, the NBA announced former Citigroup and Time Warner chairman Dick Parsons is now the interim CEO. The decision follows a lifetime ban issued against Donald Sterling. The league still plans to force Sterling to sell the team.
U.S. experts are in Nigeria to help find nearly 300 missing schoolgirls. An Islamic extremist group has claimed responsibility for taking those girls more than 3 weeks ago. The group threatened to sell them into slavery. A Pentagon team of about 50 security experts, the FBI and Justice Department experts are already at the U.S. Embassy assisting the Nigerian government. U.S. intelligence officials believe the girls are being held in small groups and may have already been smuggled into nearby countries.
Well, drive a Ford or know someone who does? Well, you need to hear this. Ford is recalling more than 692,000 Escape SUVs and C-Max gas-electric hybrids. They need to fix a software glitch that affects the airbags and door handles. So check with your dealer to see if your vehicle needs to be repaired.
We've all said it. We've either had the flu or just narrowly missed hitting another car and said, I thought I wasn't going to make it. Usually that's just, you know, an expression. But when those words come out of the mouth of a firefighter caught in a fire like this one here, it is much more than an expression. It is reality. January 30th, 4 Greensboro firefighters were injured while fighting this blaze on Elm Street at Import Knights Auto Repair. The roof collapsed, trapping them inside. Now, some had broken bones, others burns. Matthew Clapp, one of the injured firefighters, told me it was the only time that he felt that he was close to death. He has been fighting fires for 5 years now, and right now he is fighting to just get well enough to get back on the job.
And I've never seen anything like that, and I hopefully never see anything quite like that again.
Matt Clapp made it out of that Elm Street fire, but what happened that day in January will never leave him mentally or physically.
It was actually holding my ankle together. they give it to me as a souvenir. I keep it with me. It reminds me of really how fragile life is and how blessed I am to be alive and to be, to be here today, really.
Matt had the reminder in his pocket when he came to Greensboro's National Day of Prayer event. He prayed for the military, but the words he prayed on the day of the fire were on his mind as well.
And it wasn't the formal prayers that we all pray in church. It was more like a child, crying for their father. And I think he answered right away.
Matt says while he was trying to get out from under the collapsed roof,
I could clearly hear my captain's voice, which any firefighter who was listening would understand. You can not clearly hear anything in the gear. I could clearly hear his voice saying, "It's time to move. We got to get out. Come on, guys. We got to get out."
Matt has told his survival story again and again, and usually people have the same response.
Or they would say things like, the Lord was really with you during that time. And I would say, yes, he was definitely with us, but no more so than when I drove here today.
Matt believes it is not just a miracle he survived, it's also part of the plan.
And then once you have fulfilled what he has called you to do, then he's going to call you home. And I guess he's just not done with me yet.
No, he is not done with him yet. Matt is hoping to be cleared to go back to work by mid-June on light duty. He says he looks forward to fighting fires again, helping people, and doing what he says God created him to do. Of the other firefighters injured, Captain Sterling Sutterth is still recovering, but both Brian Backerman and Shane Boswell are both back at work. Chances are you've seen one today. They're all around. To some people, they can be pretty scary. What am I talking about? The subject of today's Kids Want to Know question. A look at how bridges are constructed. That's coming up next. Kids ask the best questions. In the last year of 2 Wants to Know, we've learned about how bricks are made, what is it like on the International Space Station, and where marshmallows came from. All because kids asked questions. Today's question, no different.
Hi, my name is Jaden, and I want to know how you construct a bridge without falling in.
Good question, especially when you think of all the bridges that you see in North Carolina. North Carolina maintains 13,638 bridges across the state. And the keys to constructing them, or any bridge, is bats. That's right, bats, not the animals, bats. Beams, arches, trusses, and suspensions. Those 4 things determine a bridge design. Whether it's a cable bridge, a suspension bridge, or a beam bridge like the ones that most of us drive on every day. But as far as how they stay standing, well, DOT engineer Arnold Baldwin says it all starts with the right foundation.
Analyze the dirt and material at the lab that we have in Raleigh. They'll determine the length by the type of material we have, whether it's got a lot of rock in it or not, and determine the length of the pile that we drive to know what the bearing is to start out for a good foundation for the bridge. Then you use rebar and concrete. Pouring the concrete, we use wooden forms, which is usually made out of 2x4s and plywood, and sort of form those together, tie them together with snap ties. It's the thing that just holds the forms together so we can pour the concrete in and it won't push them back out. The colder the temperature, you need it in the forms longer. It could take like 36 hours or 3 days. But on a hot day like today, it could be the next day, 24 hours, you could pull the forms, it would be set. There's a lot of math as far as figuring the calculations. You got a lot of algebra, geometry. It's a lot of math involved. A lot of it's safety. You have to be very safe and careful what you're doing. A lot of times you're working over traffic. You have to think about the vehicles there to make sure that they're protected so nothing happens.
See, kids, that's why you need to pay attention to your algebra and your geometry teacher. Okay, if you want to check out Arnold's explanation again or see other Kids Want to Know questions on our website, head to WFMYnews2.com. We all know dogs as, well, man's best friend, but today some dogs became college students' best friends. Julie, let's talk about it.
Oh, this is so cute, T. The end of the semester is here, and that means final exams, graduation, summer jobs. Oof, the pressure, right? So some dogs took over a college campus to help relieve the stress and help students feel like kids again. And it's university approved. Why and how it worked tonight on WFMY News 2 at 6. Cute, huh?
I love it. Yes, kids' best friend. The kids want to know question kind of have me wanting to know more, and I love that part about my job. We get to learn all kinds of cool things every day. Here is where my research took me earlier today. The longest bridge in the United States. Where is it and how long is it? In 60 seconds. The longest bridge in the United States is the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in Louisiana. It's almost 24 miles long, and it's the longest continuous bridge over water. We started the newscast talking about fire extinguishers. You need to know where yours is and make sure that it is charged and ready just in case. But you may have heard of using flour, baking soda, or salt to put out the fires. Do those really work? Our fire educator explains in our web extra. You can look for it in this story in 2 Wants to Know section of WFMYnews2.com. All right, thanks for joining us for 2 Wants to Know at 5:30 on this Friday. WFMY News 2 at 6 starts right now.